Hola! Welcome to the Discipline module. This will be one of the most important modules you view, as discipline can often be a challenge in a weekly specials class. In this module, we will discuss some of the different methods you can use to establish and maintain discipline in the classroom. To begin, let's talk about why discipline is so important. All of us want to create a fun learning environment where the students look forward to learning Spanish. In order to maintain this environment, the teacher needs to have control of the classroom. Let's talk about how we can establish this at the beginning of the year. On your first day, you will send home a letter to the students and their parents about the expectations and rules of the classroom. Select 3 to 5 rules that will apply to your classroom. In my class, we use the following: listening ears, watching eyes, quiet mouths, raised hands, and happy smiles. All of my rules tell the students what they should do rather than what they shouldn't do. Always try to focus on the behavior you want them to display rather than telling them that they can't do something. As part of your class routine, you may want to review the rules at the beginning of each class. Having a regular routine, as discussed in the previous modules, is incredibly helpful in maintaining class control. When the students know the routine and what is expected, they are much more likely to maintain the behavior that you want to see. Once the rules have been established, they must be enforced. Never begin class until you have the attention of the students. Using your routine will be a good way to bring the students into Spanish time, where they know the expectations. You can also see what the homeroom teachers are using in their own classrooms. Do they have a marble jar or red, yellow, green discipline system? See if they will let you use their system during the class period. Remember not to embarrass the students when you are disciplining them. The student is not bad. The behavior is bad. Never accuse the student of being a bad child. Encourage them and engage them to change their behavior. Ask them to be your helper or sit by you so you can monitor their actions. Throughout the class, if a student is not following one of the rules, for example, not listening, ask them, "What is the rule about our ears?" And once they answer, ask, "Are you following that rule how the rest of the class is?" Follow this question with something along the lines of, "How can you change your behavior so that you are doing what the rest of the class is doing?" Have them identify the rule that they are breaking and determine how to fix the situation. This is a much more positive way to correct students' behavior, where you are not accusing them of doing something wrong, but instead you are asking them to reflect on their own behavior. Another very strong way to enforce behavior is to call students by name. It is incredibly difficult to learn all of your students' names, so I recommend using name tags or a seating chart in your classroom. This will help you to learn the students' names so that when a student is being bad, you can call on them by name to bring them back to class behavior. When a student is called by name, they feel more trust with their teacher because they feel like the teacher knows and respects them as an individual and not just another troublemaker in the class. If a problem escalates and you have to warn about a detention or going to see the principal, be sure to follow through. If you do not follow through with punishments, the students will disregard you and continue to behave poorly. If you aren't going to do it, don't tell the students that you are. Sometimes you may have trouble with an entire group of students. When it is not just 1 or 2 specific students, the entire group needs to be addressed. If an entire group is talking over you, it is good to stop talking and wait silently for them to return to your attention. If this is not happening, flash the lights or ring the bell to regain the students' attention. Make sure that the students know that they should never get to the point where the lights or bell have to go off, as that will result in a bad class report to the homeroom teacher. If problems are consistent for a specific group, you may need to schedule a silent work day for them. These force the students to sit silently and work on Spanish work for the full period. It is not as fun as normal Spanish class, so oftentimes the students will beg for a regular class the following week. Overall, the classroom should be a welcoming environment where the students look forward to coming to Spanish class. In order to maintain the fun, you must keep rule and order in the class. The above tips should help manage the classroom in a positive way. If you have any further questions or are having difficulty with classroom behavior throughout your school year, please reach out to me at hriley@vivaspanish.com.